I got three SQs, clarifications, Mr. Speaker. One is whether PM can share with us a bit more about his negotiations within ASEAN, because PM, you mentioned that you had a chat with the Prime Minister of Malaysia, and how the ASEAN negotiations would actually go ahead in terms of dispute resolution or in terms of the trade tariffs that have been introduced. Second is in terms of I know the situation is still fluid, but there are concerns about the semiconductor tariffs that might come on stream. And given that Singapore is a re-export hub, semiconductor is a significant proportion of our manufacturing sector. Can PM and whether DPM Gan can share on a sectoral basis the impact of the semiconductor tariffs, if it does come in, its impact on jobs and GDP in Singapore. And the last clarification is whether PM or DPM Gan can share at the interim, at the start, whether there has been done macro counterfactual simulations of existing tariffs that have been introduced, and whether there's if there's an additional 5% or 10% tariffs or semiconductor tariffs, the impact on growth and jobs for Singapore. Thank you.
DPM Gan.
Thank you very much. I think I just give you a very broad assessment of the impact. As I mentioned earlier, I think we still need to look at what US is going to do with regard to semiconductor, and it is indeed something that is of great concern to us. We have been engaging the semiconductor companies and to discuss with them what we can do to help them to make sure that they're able to manage the impact of the import duties. Our semiconductor exports to US comprise about 8.9% of Singapore's total goods exports to the US. And this is equivalent to 0.8% of Singapore's total goods exports to the world in 2024. So it is not insignificant. So it's something that we will continue to have to work with them and see how we can manage the potential impact of duties on Singapore's exports to the US.
Prime Minister.
On the first question about negotiations and whether we're going to do this bilaterally or collectively as ASEAN, I think the ASEAN member states, each one of us bilaterally, will already engage America. We will certainly do so, and I'm sure other countries are doing so as well. You would have read about that in the media. As for what position ASEAN takes as a whole, the ASEAN economic ministers are meeting soon, and they will discuss further. But one key step that we can take, quite aside from engaging America as a collective, is really to redouble our work even harder to reduce non-tariff barriers within ASEAN itself. ASEAN's tariffs are already largely removed, but to reduce further non-tariff barriers, to facilitate better trade within ASEAN, and to ensure that ASEAN remains even more attractive and competitive. I think that those are actions that we certainly want to do.